This is where it all began and started, right here.
Brian Cox is the director of South Park Recreation Center in South Central LA.
You can practice later on, okay?
Thank you, Ryan.
You're so welcome.
Tonight's activities, part of a citywide program, brings kids, parents, and community members together to celebrate the end of summer. But just 4 years ago, when Brian took the job, the park was a very different place. It was right in the middle of a violent turf war between two rival gangs.
Before I got here, I think there was not a lot of trust. A lot of folks had written it off because of basically the negative elements. There was no grass on the ball diamonds. This was all dirt right here.
Had a bad reputation of a lot of violence and gang stuff. It was terrible, man. It was a lot of people getting killed, robbed. People were scared to even come to this park.
Hi, I'm Gibson.
And I'm Winslow.
And we're from the Santa Barbara Middle School Team Press, and today we're here with
DIDO.
Brian Cox.
So can you tell our middle school audience a little bit about your story and your film?
Well, basically, Perry and myself, I'm the recreation director at South Park Recreation Center. And when we first got there, as you guys saw in the video, that it was a really tough place. You know, not a whole lot was going on. A lot of desolence, a lot of gangs at the park, a lot of things. A lot of kids were not coming to the park, so a lot of people really looked at that park as a place where a lot of bad things happen, a lot of negative feedback from the community. And myself and Perry got together. Perry came about, and we wanted to make a change. He wanted to make a change. We wanted to make a difference. We wanted to bring some things back to the community that we felt that was really needed. A lot of sports, a lot of different activities, and we wanted to show that through the change of attitudes that, that things could work in a positive manner. So I'm going to let Perry talk a little bit more about how we went from there.
Well, when I got with Brian, it's like that commercial. I'm definitely comfortable in my own skin, and Brian was. So as a parent, I grew up in South Park, as an adolescent. I was going to South Park before the crack cocaine era came. So therefore, all I did was become a throwback guy. Instead of the parents telling the kids bad things, I told the kids what the parents told me before the crack era, which was to go to school. So by me being around, I'm just following old traditions.
I was one of these guys who helped tear this park up. I want to be one of these guys who helped clean this park up. He had kids, he had a little boy, a little girl.
My boy.
So we had a common bond, and that common bond was sports, and it was football. It was easy for me to talk about bringing the actual program, but what the hard thing was, he had to get not only the parents and the kids to trust him, but he also had to get his enemies to trust that they could come in this hood and that they were going to be safe. And he gave me his word, and it's been true to this day.
4 years, not an argument in a parking lot, or nothing.
What kind of audience do you hope can see this film?
Well, we really hope that not only adults, but kids, especially with the latest events that just took place in Connecticut, we want to show that, parents need to get involved. They talked about this young man who did the horrible act, was a real reclusive, and just think it's time for parents to dig a little deeper, know a little bit more. You can't just say your kid is a recluse or by himself. You got to go and dig a little deeper. You got to kind of find out a little bit more. So we're hoping that young kids, as well as adults, see this film and want to get back involved, because the one big thing about this film is that Perry, we're not going to sugarcoat it. Perry was one of these guys who felt like he was a part of tearing up the park as a youth. So we want to make sure that people understand that kids do grow up and they become adults, and he wanted to be one of the guys who made sure that he came back to help clean that park up and to help change the attitude and change it around. So we're hoping that kids understand that one person can make a difference, whether it's a kid or an adult.
I've learned responsibility. I've learned how to communicate with everybody else. I've learned that it doesn't matter what race you are, everybody's the same. and you just have to get along with everybody.
But the thing that I think I'm most proud is that we make two culturally diverse groups of people come together each and every day, and we make it work.
We got the Hispanic people, they look out for the black kids. We got the black people, they look out for the Hispanic kids, you know. It's just a good situation going on up here at this park.
Without the park, I mean, I honestly think the neighborhood would be kind of rough. It's pretty rough.
The My Hero project, its goal is really to use media and technology to make a difference in the world. What do you hope people will take from your movie and take with them for the rest of their lives?
That you have to have teamwork. You have to trust. You have to, and you can't sit on the sidelines. You can't talk about what's going on in the community and hope that somebody else fixes it. You know, there's a line that, you know, I kind of made a comment that there were some mentors before me that said, if you're not going to get involved in your own community, then who will? So if you're not going to get involved, you know, you got to be a part of the process. You got to be a part of the change. And that's what it was. We want to make sure that everybody's invited, you know, to the plate, to the table to eat. So we want to make sure that if you're going to say, and if you're going to have things to say about what goes on in your community, make sure that you step up to the plate and make sure that you're a part of the solution.
The South Park youth football team now plays here regularly and attracts both Latino and Black players and fans.
To organize something, there has to be a leader. And then you have to have a staff and you have to have a vision. And we've kind of basically run this park as a team.
Theme for our school year is Larger Voices Calling. What's a larger voice that's called to you to help you restore the park?
Take that.
The larger voice is calling me, I guess, I could say the heroes before me. I feel there's no need to pass the buck. I feel by me stepping up in my community that heroes come in all shapes and colors. So anyone can become a hero. You gotta have your heart in the right place.
They don't just play sports. They don't, you know, they're not always on TV. There are a lot of people, you know, whether they're first responders, whether they're your local mailman, you know, all these people have inner person inside them. So when you talk the bigger, what's the bigger picture in this? You want to be able to leave this place a little bit better than when you found it and when you got here. So that's what this hall is all about. We want to make sure that young people understand you have to get involved in your community. And you know what? Tragedy and bad things happen to good people, as we see. Give them options now. Kids have options. You can come over and you can play soccer. You can come in, you can play tackle football. We have a dance program for kids. We have the adult aerobics class. We have a senior citizen group. Wait a minute. We have a tutorial program. We have a teen club, just to see some of these kids and how they're turning their lives around.
Another theme of our school is Go with Gratitude. Before we go, is there anybody you'd like to thank for the help of this film and basically throughout the whole story?
Well, we want to thank Unity One, and we want to thank the filmmakers who came out. They chose us. They saw a story that was done in the paper on Perry, and they saw the opportunity to come in there and seize the moment to shed some light on the changes that were occurring positively. So we want to thank Unity One. We want to thank all the filmmakers. We want to thank USC for bringing this event here, as well as all these filmmakers. So we appreciate them coming down to South Park and basically giving us an opportunity to show that there are good things that happen in the inner city.
And I want to let everybody know that people can change. Oh, people can change. Just because you started off one way, you don't have to finish the same way you started. So you can change. People can change.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Something that you feel as though that you can do. Never look at the circumstances around you or look at the challenge or how big of a task it is. You just continuously believing in yourself, believe in what you're doing is right, and just go for it.
1, 2, 3! Get up! 1, 2, 3! Get up! 1, 2, 3!